I always wondered why they made that noise. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? And they're like, tss, 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 tss. I'm like, I don't know. Is that coming from their mouth? Are they hitting the bag? Like, I never understood it. I don't know. That just always confused me. What is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. We got a W tonight. Okay, that wasn't pretty. Not going to lie here, Laker fans. That wasn't exactly the prettiest brand of basketball, and I'm 1000% guilty of this. I did not think they were going to win that game. Going into the fourth quarter when they're down 12, in my head, I was like, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But eventually, Lakers will turn it around or would turn it around. Got a lot of topics that I want to get into. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of comments to read here. Glad I'm doing this going live. So I'll get into the box score, talk a little bit about just the way the Lakers played tonight. I mean, it almost felt like they were sleepwalking for a big part of the show. And I know a lot of that was just so awful from the 3-point line, but you just got to have a better performance than that. We'll talk LeBron, took over in the fourth quarter, ended up playing 35 minutes. So much for the whole load management thing. That didn't take very long. Anthony Davis's bounce back game. I want to give some love to Christian Wood. Want to give some love to Gabe Vincent, even though if you look at actually Gabe Vincent, just literally look at his stat line, not the best, but I thought he did some stuff that was important. And then we'll preview the next game coming up. So next game for the Lakers is going to be Lakers and the Kings on Sunday. So thank you for being a part of the show. Appreciate you guys tuning in. They gave these out tonight, so I figure why not wear it, because probably after tonight I won't wear it again because it's about 16 sizes too big. Why do they only have one size? Why is it always a 4XL when they're giving out the shirts at any event going on there? I mean, who needs a 4XL? All right, but anyways, this was the show, or these were the shirts they were giving out. Lake Show energy. Okay, let's get started here. Lakers survive. Is survive the right way to put it? They come back. They make it happen. But Lakers over the Suns, 100-95. The final score there. 100-95. The final score there. So, couple things here. Damn, you guys, everybody really likes the shadow box in here. They want like real deal. Hit them with a couple of here, hook, jab, the whole thing. I think there's also some times where you want to throw some more punches when the game actually was pretty. But Lakers did eventually survive this game. I read some of the comments already, and I'll get to some of the comments in a little bit. But a lot of people kind of with the same thing. It's like, okay, hey, they survived. All right, hey, they survived. All right, better for them to survive than not win the game and then have to try to figure it out. Obviously going 0-2 to Sacramento. Let me share my screen real quick because I do want to go through that box score with you guys. Couple quick reminders here. If you guys have a second and you don't mind, you could subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that. Turn on that notification bell as well. That'd be fantastic. Okay. Let's take a look here at the box score. So the main box score is up here. Lakers outscored by 12 in the first quarter. They come back in the second quarter, cut it down to 4. Then again, going into the fourth quarter, they're down by 12 again. So just like it was in that first game against Denver, where they're down, 14, 18, something along those lines. But look at the fourth quarter there. Lakers gave up 11 points in the fourth quarter. Look, a lot of that has to do with just the mere fact Devin Booker and Bradley Beal are not playing. You expect the Lakers to play better basketball. I mean, actually, I really thought the good thing in a game like this was, hey, if the Lakers just blow out the Phoenix Suns tonight, and I thought that's what was going to happen, I thought they'd be up by 10 by the end of the first quarter. I think they started the game up 7-0. I thought they'd be up 12 or 15 by the time you got to halftime. But instead, it was the opposite way. It was the Suns that jumped out to the lead, Suns that sustained it, got through 3 quarters with a 12-point lead, and then Lakers took over in the fourth. But 28-11, that's the only way the Lakers won in the fourth quarter. Basically, LeBron took over. They were feeding the ball to Anthony Davis. They were getting stop after stop. I mean, God bless Frank Vogel, and I know he was really undermanned, but they didn't run any offense in that fourth quarter. I guess you could say they really didn't run much offense in some of these other quarters as well. It's just KD was putting up all his points through the first three quarters. But they got a little lucky that Phoenix just decided we're not going to run one play and we're just going to let one guy dribble the ball and make a decision. A lot of turnovers, a lot of missed shots. I think KD started the fourth quarter sitting on the bench. And from there, the Lakers started to make their run. This is the stat you don't see very often. When you're 5 of 29 from the three-point line, Laker fans, not too many games you're going to win shooting 5 for 29 from 3. So just 17% from the Lakers from the three-point line. Luckily for the Lakers, it's not like Phoenix was shooting 40% from 3. They shot 29%. They were still plus 12 in that department. Rebounding, Lakers out-rebounded 49 to 42. Assists 24 for the Lakers, just 16 for the Phoenix Suns. But the way the Lakers made up all that ground, I know you're looking at those stats and you're saying, wait a minute, well, how the hell did the Lakers win this game then? 24 turnovers for the Phoenix Suns, and look at the points in the paint, 60 to 36. So that's your ball game. If you're going to shoot 17% from 3, well, you better dominate in the paint, which the Lakers did, and you better dominate from a turnover perspective. 8 more turnovers from the Phoenix Suns to the Lakers. So right out the gate, I mean, looking at that has a lot to do with how the Lakers were able to stay in this game and, eventually pull it out at the end. But that's the box score. I'm going to stop sharing that because I think that, kind of explains it here. And let me get to some of these comments here. Damn, Slee did not improve his skills this summer as far as boxing. You're right. I got to get in one of those gyms where, I'm going to just basically spend 7-8 hours a day just simply shadow boxing. Al, careful with the shadow boxing. You might pull a hammy. You're not wrong. And that's the thing that I love about the people here is they understand that I'm not athletic. So that happens a lot. Post game after the post game. Yes, sure. Yes, sir, my friend. Don't run out of breath, Slee. A lot of comments going towards my endurance. I got to be honest with you guys. Sometimes when I'm, especially when I'm at the side and then I'm planting my right foot in front and just kind of coming with the hooks, there's some times where I probably got to catch my breath. Okay. Let's read a couple of these comments here as I got my chair all jacked up. Read a couple of these comments here, and then I'm going to keep getting into everything else. So we got here, AD needs at least 25 a game for us to win. Goat James again. Underdog Fantasy Arena in the house. All right, appreciate that. You guys know you can see it in the corner there. Underdog Fantasy, proud partner of this post-game show that I'm doing here. I got to submit my picks for tomorrow's games. So far, I've submitted twice. I was wrong on both, so I'm going to need some of your guys' help. We're going to need a collaborative effort here. Suns just played iso ball at the end. Yeah, I didn't know what they were doing. To be honest with you, I thought that's where the Lakers were getting a little bit lucky here. It's just that it didn't seem like there was much of a plan from the Phoenix Suns, and the Lakers benefited off of that. I do actually really believe there were times watching this thing, I'm like, I think they're getting lucky. Feels great to be back. All right, I want to read one of these comments here, and then I want to start talking about Braun here real quick. Why are people so high on Rui? He averaged 9 points on 33 games last year, then went up to 12 points in playoffs, had a few monster games, but the rest. That's an interesting one. I feel like I've been one that has been more cautious about Rui. Like, I need to see more here that what Rui was doing was specifically he got paid for what he did in the playoffs. But let's get into Rui a little bit later. I appreciate Astrohead. I appreciate the super chat there. By the way, if you want to put a super chat, you're guaranteed that it's going to get read. Don't feel obligated to do it, but if you want to do it, it's going to get read. All right, let me read a couple more here, and then I want to get into LeBron. Francis Mendoza, how long before we get a regular rotation? What do you think? The regular rotation is going to depend on a couple things. When is Vanderbilt coming back? When he does come back, is Vanderbilt going to be is he starting? Is Torian Prince now coming off the bench? I think you got a couple questions of those that you need to ask first, and I think that's eventually we're going to find out. But I'm saying 30 days until we know what the regular rotation is. I think that's probably a much better gauge than anything else. All right, here's what we got here. That's pretty good. That was pretty good. Got some comedians on here. Comedians. Okay, I want to go back to a couple of my topics here. So LeBron in the fourth quarter, LeBron ended up with 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. Basically, LeBron won the Lakers the game there in that fourth quarter. And I know I'm simplifying it by saying it that way, but I think it can be simplified. I didn't know how many minutes LeBron was going to play. I did a video yesterday, obviously did a video after the first game against Denver, and I was talking about how I really liked the game plan of what the Lakers or how they were using LeBron. But I listened to Darvin Ham, and I guess the conversation, and LeBron talked right after postgame. He was on TNT, and basically he said that Darvin Ham came to him and said, "How you feeling?" Bron said, "I'm feeling good." So they decided, okay, let's go. They were down 12. So they really didn't have all that much of a choice. If they were going to win this game tonight, Bron was going to have to play 35 minutes. Now, why is Bron playing 35 minutes in a game against the Phoenix Suns without Devin Booker and without Bradley Beal? I'm not sure. That definitely shouldn't be happening. I think we all know that. I think we all understand that. But that was the case. And Bron did what Bron needed to do. And there wasn't really margin for error here. Bron was a plus 22 in the game, 21 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. He had 2 steals. He had 2 block shots. So did a little bit of everything. But predominantly what he did was at the end of the game. Predominantly what he did was in that fourth quarter when the Lakers needed it most. I think the minutes thing is interesting because this tells me that minutes restriction that he was on Tuesday, well, it only took one game for them to say, screw it, let's have him play 35. Now, I'm sure there's going to be times and moments where they say, okay, hey, let's keep him under 30. But it literally took one game for the Lakers and Darvin Ham to say, yeah, we're going to go ahead and need 35 minutes from you tonight. And it's not like he was playing minutes that didn't matter. When you're behind, every minute matters. When you're in the fourth quarter and you're down 12 and you're making a run, every minute matters. So Bron had to play all those minutes if the Lakers would win this game. So he looked great. Listening to the TNT broadcast, you got so much of these guys just admiring what he's doing at this age. But it's an 82-game schedule. And, it's tough to think that in his 21st season, this is something that can be sustained over 82 games. So that's why I think it's so important to have some type of minutes restriction for him. So, obviously something to keep in mind there. AD, bounce back game for him. Look, after the game, LeBron was asked about all the chatter about Anthony Davis after the first game, and he said he doesn't give a shit is actually the word that he said. He doesn't care. He doesn't pay attention to social media. He does not care. But I don't know if it's interesting because if the criticism wasn't warranted, that's different. But I think the criticism is warranted. So Anthony Davis, it's no surprise tonight what AD did. He had 30, 12, 3 steals, 3 block shots, 10 of 17 from the field, took 10 free throws in 39 minutes of play. That's superstar. That's a superstar. 30 points, 12 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 block shots, 10 of 17 from the field, 9 of 10 from the free throw line in 39 minutes. That's a superstar stat line because you got the points, you got the rebounds, and then you got the defense. He had 6 total between steals and blocks. That's an amazing stat. But I think when Bron is protecting Anthony Davis. I get it. That's his teammate. That's his buddy. But it's not like my justification for going after Anthony Davis on Tuesday and other people going after Anthony Davis on Tuesday, it's not because anyone has a gripe on Anthony Davis. It's because he had 0 points in the fourth quarter. I'm sorry, in the second half against the Denver Nuggets on opening night. That's the criticism. So he can say he doesn't care, he's not listening. He could say all that, but that's not the point of it all. All people want to see him do is be more consistent as a basketball player. I was doing the pregame show today. I'm doing it with Michael Thompson. And, I was curious. I was like, I wonder how Michael, I hadn't talked to Michael since the game on Tuesday. We did the pregame show together, but I don't talk to him after the game. So every time I'm doing a pregame, I can go back and talk about the game before and get his thoughts on it. And I was a little bit curious with Michael Thompson. I was saying to myself, I'm like, I wonder if he's going to find a way to defend him or if he's just going to say, I don't know what the hell to tell you. And it was the latter. Basically, Michael Thompson was saying that there's no excuse. It's weird. How does he not take over in the fourth quarter? How does he not take over? How does he not demand the ball? And then he said, the coaching staff should find a way to make sure that they get him the ball. So we went into this thing. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Michael was not defending Anthony Davis. And I appreciate Bron having love for one of his teammates, but nobody's trying to go after Anthony Davis. Everyone is just asking that Anthony Davis is just a more consistent basketball player or doesn't go through stretches where he's so it doesn't look like he's playing inspired basketball. It doesn't look like he's playing aggressive basketball. A lot of people were putting in the comments when we were talking about it yesterday, he wasn't playing like a dog. It's those moments that I think we look at Anthony Davis and it's like, well, how are you going to drop 30 one night and then the next night you're going to have 14, or you're not going to you're going to take one shot in the fourth quarter, or you're not going to take a free throw in the second half, or whatever the case is. It's just too wild. It's the swings are way too high. It's like a roller coaster, stock market, whatever you want to call it. Those swings are just way too high, especially when he's this good. And that's what keeps him out of the conversation of being a superstar, is when you don't do it consistently, or in some of those big moments you can't be dependent on. It's interesting. In the fourth quarter, I think in the first 3 minutes, I saw the Lakers go to D'Lo threw the ball to AD. Gabe Vincent threw the ball to AD. AD got a ball off the offensive. Like, there was so much focus on Anthony Davis in that fourth quarter. You wonder why that can't be done on a more consistent basis. Okay. Let's get to some more of everybody's comments here. Let's see what we got here. Okay, read that one. David Sabatini, appreciate you being a part of it, brother. Needed that win. Couldn't go 0-2. Yeah, and it would have been embarrassing to go 0-2. You know what I'm saying? Like, just being honest here, right? If Phoenix is fully healthy and we're trying to figure out what that team is, that's one thing. But they're missing 2 of their key players. Devin Booker dropped 32 the other night against Golden State. He's not in the lineup. After Kevin Durant, there's a lot of just role players. All right. Odell feels the same way. Al, what's going on with his team? Figuring it out. Now, I really, really, really appreciate the super chat. Thank you very, very much for that. All right. Let me get into this real quick. And like I said, I'm going to do everything I can to get into the comments. If you do throw a super chat in there, I'll make sure that I get to it. Don't feel obligated to do it, but if you do it, it's going to get read. Coach, he does not give players an opportunity to work through their mistakes. He puts them in the doghouse. Torian Prince, Jackson Hayes, Cam Reddish, even Rui never saw the light of day again. You know, Arthur, I think it's an interesting point, and I see a lot of people. There are definitely people on the messages that I'll see that are talking specifically about about coaches' rotations and players and decisions and everything else. Honestly, I thought, Arthur, he was just trying to get a win tonight. And I'm going to go through some of those players that you just mentioned, okay? I think it's actually, I want to see it. Torian Prince was 0 for 5 tonight. He was minus 15. So I think, and Christian Wood was giving them good minutes. So I thought there was a reason for that. Rui Hachimura, only played 12 minutes. He has not been impressive in two games. And they paid the man some good money. And, ultimately, it's going to be important for him to eventually deliver for the Lakers. But, okay, Taurean Prince was another one that you mentioned. Or I'm sorry, Rui was another one. Let me read which was the other player that you mentioned here. Cam Reddish. What Cam do? 2 of 5, 4 points, minus 12. I think he went with some players tonight that he felt more confident in to close out the game. And I'm okay with that. If I'm going to give you an example, even Austin Reeves, there were times where he was getting benched, and Reeves hasn't started the season out very well. There were some other players that did some other things that Gabe Vincent, I can't sit here and tell you that Gabe Vincent was amazing tonight. Gabe Vincent hasn't hit a 3 in 2 games with the Lakers. He's 0 for 8. He played 35 minutes because he had 6 assists, 3 steals. He was a plus 13 in the plus minus. I thought he was doing some small things. I thought he was aggressive on the defensive side. Even though he struggled offensively, I thought there was things he was bringing to the table defensively. So that's why I thought Gabe Vincent was getting playing time. Christian Wood, I could argue, was as good as any player out there other than LeBron and Anthony Davis. And he went 2 of 7 from the field, so it's not like he was shooting well. But Christian Wood gave you 10 rebounds, gave you 7 points, was trying everything he can on Kevin Durant. KD's KD. There's only so much you could do. He's a big player. He's a tall player. He's got length. He was a plus 23 in the plus minus. That was the highest of any player of the two teams. So, ultimately at the end of the day, I think it's easy to look at, well, why didn't he leave this player and why didn't that? I think he was just trying to get the W. So thank you, Arthur. I appreciate the super there. Okay. Congrats to AD for playing better tonight. I can't tell if that's a joke or is not. Okay, let's see what we got here. Absolutely warranted. So that's what I'm talking about. When what I'm referring to absolutely warranted on LeBron defending his guy. I'm all good with that. Defend your guy. Defend your guy as much as you want. Awesome. I completely understand it. But for me, I think it's impossible that coaching staff doesn't sit there sometimes and say, why isn't AD more aggressive? Or LeBron. It's impossible that LeBron's not sitting there sometimes and saying to himself, how is this dude not taking over in the fourth quarter? So I think it's warranted as well. All right, see what we got here. LeBron, 35 minutes. Thank you very much for the super chat. I could be surfing. I feel like Ham doesn't know what this team is yet, which I get, but he needs to figure it out. It's going to take a second. I think he has through the first 2 games, D'Lo's been Austin Reeves has been below Rui's been bad. So those are 3 guys I think he was going to be depending on. Jared Vanderbilt has not played a game yet. He's been trying to work in some of these other dudes. Obviously the Cam Reddishes, Christian Woods, Jackson Hayes. It's going to take some at least 10 games to start saying, okay, I got an idea. I got an idea of the rotation. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they got to be better. Fourth quarter, they were great. 28-11. They held, I think, Phoenix to 5 of 20 from the field, and Lakers took 13 free throws in that fourth quarter. I'm seeing a stat here on Spectrum Sportsnet, so that tells it all there in the fourth quarter. This is an interesting one. I agree. Vogel will be great in this team. Oh, you're talking about the Laker team. I thought you meant for Phoenix. I think for Phoenix, he'll be a good fit. I just don't know 100% what Phoenix is and how much these guys are going to want to play defense. Love the way Woods played tonight. Agree on. Absolutely agree. It's easy to not look at some of these players, and it's easy to just pay attention to some of these stat lines and just LeBron, just Anthony. Christian Wood impacted the game. Gabe Vincent impacted the game. I think those are important things to point out. Francis, thank you for the super chat, my brother. AD is top 10 in the NBA while being inconsistent. Correct. Yes. But he's not superstar. He's not superstar, if that makes sense. We can't talk about AD the way we talk about Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, Steph, Luca, Tatum. Believe it or not, I think Tatum too. I don't think we can because they show up every single night. Hell, Braun. You know who might be working their way into that conversation as well is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Guys are consistent. They don't go lost for exit. Think about all the Lakers, or think about all the great players that you've watched over time. Um, the Kobe's, the LeBrons, the Magics, whatever era that you're watching basketball. Think about the greats. They don't disappear like he disappears. And even if it's once every few games, that's a lot. That's a lot more for a player that has that much skill set. All right, there's another one. Michael Thompson isn't wrong. AD, my favorite player, but 0 points in the entire half. Yeah. Okay, let's see what else we got here. A lot of comments. I got to catch up here. I'm way behind Laker fans. We will take this win. Yes, we will. Absolutely, we will. AD has no post game. 183 million for 3 years. Yeah, he's getting paid. That part is no joke right there. Okay, let me do something here real quick. Let's see what I had on my other topics here. I mentioned the Christian Wood love. I do want to give him love. I think he deserves that love. Okay, before we go any further here, and I'll read more of these comments as we go, but let's do some roll call. I want you guys right here in the chat where the hell you're from. Give me the city, give me the state, give me the country. Doesn't matter where the hell you are. Just let me know, and we'll do some roll call. That's kind of how this thing works, right? You get a W, you do roll call. You don't get a W, you're like, you know what? I don't care. Okay? I don't have time to figure out where you're from right now. Okay. Other thing that I'm going to do here, let me wait on that for a quick second. I won't have to do that right now. All right, I got a lot of people that. Dang. All right, let me read some of these. Philippines. This is not a joke. Philippines loves the Lakers. They love their Lakers. They definitely love their Lakers. Koreatown in the house. Thank you for being a part of the show. Ohio, DC, the Riverside, like the Ohio State, the Riverside. Thank you for being a part of the show. Rochester, New York. Temple City. Thank you for being a part of the show. Anaheim, Philippines, Bronx in the house. San Jose, Costa Rica, Singapore, Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you for being a part of the show. University of Newcastle, Riverside in the house. Thank you for being a part of the show. Las Vegas, Nevada, Redondo Beach. Yeah, it's a pretty good area. Pretty good area out there. Let me get one of these in here real quick. Kratos, thank you for being a part of the show. Reeves should not have played this summer. He's getting targeted on D consistently with bigger players. Lakers need to fix this. You know, I'm gonna probably do a video on Austin Reeves. He's had an interesting start. A few of these guys, Reeves and Rui, have had some questionable starts. Kratos, thank you very much for the super chat. But yeah, I don't mind him playing in the summer. It's such a probably an honor for somebody like that to take his path, and then all of a sudden, bam, this guy is representing the United States of America in that FIBA World Cup. So I don't mind that. Could it have some effect on him getting back on track? And, yeah, it could have some effect on it. But I understand that he played. I personally don't really have an issue with that. Vegas, thank you for being a part of the show. Okay. Little Italy, Philippines. Little Italy, Torrance in the house. Thank you for being a part of the show. Humboldt, Colton, California. Hanford, Washington County. Anaheim in the house. Irvine, thank you all for being a part of the show. Bay Area in the house. Singapore, thank you for being a part of the show. Santa Ana. Let's see what we got here. Moscow from Philippines. Okay. El Monte. Delhi, India, thank you. Let's see what else we got here. Las Vegas, home of the overpriced. Bro, you want overpriced housing? Come out here to Southern California. Tell me about overpriced housing. Freaking one bedroom out here is $1 million. The hell's going on out here? Altadena, California. Thank you for being a part of the show. We're neighbors, Altadena. I'm Pasadena. You're Altadena. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Philippines. Man, it's awesome. Appreciate all the. Jay Smooth's got work in 6 hours. Jay Smooth, go. Don't worry, bro. Get out of here. Get out of here. We'll take over from here. Don't worry. Nebraska in the house. Thank you for being a part of the show. Let's see. Morelia Makokon. I probably butchered that. My apologies. Cal State Fulton in the house. Okay. Appreciate you all being a part of the house. Okay. I need your guys' help here real quick. So I think I told you guys that let me see here. There we go. Okay, I think I told you guys here. I got 2 more things I want to do. I'm going to make my picks real quick for Underdog for tomorrow's games. I'm going to need you guys' help. I'm 0 for 2. And then I want to preview a little bit of this Lakers-Kings game. And then I'll read a few more comments, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Okay, so I did this yesterday. I thought I actually had some pretty good picks, but this is where I screwed up. I picked KD to score under 32 points, so I lost. So I screwed up on that one. So I think I told you guys this a little bit about Underdog Fantasy. I'm going to make a long story short real quick. They're partnering with me. I'm very appreciative. It's the first time that I've ever had a partner on the channel. And basically, there's a couple incentives to use Underdog Fantasy if you're a fan of daily fantasy sports. So if you're out there using any of these apps, I strongly encourage you to use Underdog Fantasy. Right now, they're doing up to a $500 deposit match. Real easy how that works. You put $10. If you sign up on the site, you use my code HoopsLA. You put $10, they'll match it. They'll put $10 on top of it, so you have $20. You put $100, they'll match it, so now you have $200. You put up to $500, you have $1,000 in there if you put $500. Whatever total you want, you put whatever amount makes sense for you. But it is fun what they do. So they do these pick'ems, and I'm going to pick basically, I'm going to use tomorrow's games. I'm going to go to the NBA here. Show you guys real quick how this works. And I could pick any game that I want. I'm going to try to find a game that's maybe a little bit more relevant. Let's do Golden State Sacramento. That's kind of a fun game. All right. Basically, it's as simple as this. I need to make 2 picks. That's all. I can make up to 5, but I'm going to make 2 picks. I'm going to put in my bet, and then I'm going to roll with that. Let's do Steph Curry. Steph, higher or lower than 29.5 points against the Sacramento Kings. I think these teams are going to score a ton of points. I'm going to go higher. That Steph Curry is going to score more than 29.5. Okay, now let me pick somebody from the other side. Let's get a De'Aaron Fox. Let's get one of these guys because we're going to play the Lakers, or they're going to play Lakers. Higher or lower? I'm going to stay higher here. I'm going to go De'Aaron Fox. I'm going to go higher than 23.5 points. Those are my 2 picks. I enter the amount. I'm betting $10. I hit submit. I confirm it. Those are my 2 picks. So that's what I got going in tomorrow. I need both those guys. If both of those guys hit, I win $10. If one of those guys don't hit, then I lose $10. So HoopsLA is the code. If you can please sign up, would greatly appreciate it. I'm going to keep doing stuff here with Underdog Fantasy, and I appreciate you guys sticking around for that. Okay. I don't know if you guys like the picks. The whole idea was, everybody's saying higher. I'm with you guys. I'm 100% with you guys. The higher just seems easy. But I was already wrong on a couple of these. Okay. Let's go here to Lakers at Kings on Sunday. Let me see if anybody else has anything else that I want to get into. Exactly. It works like 401k employer matching. We'll match you up to X amount of dollars. I love that. Okay, so this is the last thing that I'm going to mention before I get in. If you guys have any comments that you guys want to put them in right now. I'll still read a few more of these, and then I want to preview real quick the Lakers and the Kings coming up. Fallbrook in the house. Appreciate you being a part of the show. So the reason why tonight's game was so important, did you really want to start off 0-2? And then you got another game coming up against you got another game coming up against the Kings on the road. Kings is a tough game. Like, it's kind of funny for me coming into the season. I looked at the Kings. I'm like, are they good or are they not? Like, are they? Do I believe in this team that 2 years in a row there's going to be no surprises? Are they good? They went to Utah and won 130-14. So right out the gate, they were already putting up a ton of points. Mike Brown, obviously the coach there. I give Sacramento a lot of credit, but it's not an easy place to play. That's the next game the Lakers got. It's going to be on Sunday, but they won at Utah. They still got a game coming up tomorrow against the Warriors. That's the Sacramento Kings. And then obviously I was doing those picks. And then on Sunday, like I mentioned on Sunday, the Lakers will take on the Lakers are going to take on the Sacramento Kings. They got scores. They got a roster. The one thing that I think the Lakers have such a big advantage over them, and I think they have such a big advantage over the Warriors, they don't have size. Like, these teams don't have size. Sabonis is going to get his 25 and 10 like he does every night. De'Aaron Fox is a beast, 18 and 6 in his last game, but that guy can drop 30 on any given night. I like Keegan Murray. Harrison Barnes, a good player. Kevin Huerter is a nice player. So they got some guys. I think they got, 5 really, really solid players, at least in their starting lineup. And then Malik Monk comes off the bench and does work as well. And we all know that because he was a former Laker. But I like the Lakers against teams like this because I feel like they got so much more size. So, but playing on the road, those are always tough places to play. So there's no guarantees on that. 2-8 last year. Didn't we go 2-10 last year? I think we were 2-10. We started 0-5, won 2 games, and then another 0-5 like that. So that was basically the Lakers last year. Austin Reeves and Rui, they'll become better. Just 2 games. Don't write them off yet. 2 of 82. Let's see, after 23 games. You're not wrong there. I was just surprised. The Rui thing, I always have had a question mark there. The Austin Reeves one, I just thought this dude was going to come in and start doing work. I really, really believe that. I thought he was going to start coming in and doing work. Okay. I think Laker fans, I think we're good. I think we did a good job tonight. Did a little live stream action. Got a good amount of people coming here live. Appreciate all the comments. Fantastic as always. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Let's do this again on Sunday after the Lakers take on the Sacramento Kings. But I'm going to get another video in here between now and then, and I'm actually going to do it because I've said that to you guys before, and then I don't do it. So my apologies there. Okay, Laker fans, appreciate it. Have a good night. Lakers over the Phoenix Suns, 100-95 the final score. Next game for the Lakers, not until Sunday. So you guys have a good night. Talk to you guys soon, and we'll go from there. I'm going to go have cereal now, and I'm not kidding. This time I'm actually being serious. I'm going to go have some cereal. Okay, I'm out of here. Later, guys.